Who is James?
So James Williams is a person who is constantly redefining himself for growth.
When I met you, you had such like an amazing story. I think the world needs to know more about it, especially our community of entrepreneurs.
I realized at a very, very young age that this job stuff wasn't going to be the thing for me. Because when I was younger, I actually wanted to get a job. I wanted to get a job so bad because I wanted to help my mom out with the bills.
Yeah.
But what actually ended up happening was I tried to go get a job, but they told me I was too young.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 14 at the time.
What?
Yeah.
When I met you, you had such like an amazing story. I think the world needs to know more about it, especially our community of entrepreneurs. But I also know you're the AI guru. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that too. So, but to get the ball rolling, who is James?
So that's something that I'm constantly redefining, right? Who exactly is James? I've been thinking about this a whole lot as of recently, especially since the shifts in my life has changed so much.
Okay.
So, as you know, before I was doing anything inside of AI, I was actually inside of the credit repair and funding industry, right?
Yep, I remember.
And everything in my life and business shifted instantly the moment I got into AI. So now I can do things that I couldn't do before. And if I was to say something about who is James Williams now, right?
Yeah.
Because ever since I got into AI, I have a very common name, which is just James.
Yeah.
So everybody be like, what's James? James Williams? I'm like, okay, cool. So my name is a brand now. Like,
That's
so,
dope.
So James Williams is a person who is constantly redefining himself for growth. If I was to sum it up into one thing, that would be what it is.
Let's go back, right? Because before you were James Williams, James Williams, tell us more about, how'd you get into all this? What's your story? Like, let's go back, how'd you even decided to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, okay, you going way back.
Yeah, I want to go way back, man.
You going way back. So I remember wanting to be an entrepreneur even as a kid, man.
Really?
Yeah. So I realized at a very, very young age that this job stuff wasn't going to be the thing for me. Because when I was younger, I actually wanted to get a job. I wanted to get a job so bad because I wanted to help my mom out with the bills.
Yeah.
But what actually ended up happening was I tried to go get a job, but they told me I was too young.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 14 at the time.
What?
Yeah. So back then you had to get like this pink slip from the school and then you get it signed. And yeah. So I went through this process and I'm like, well, I need to find a way to actually go get some money. So the first way was the streets. But I'm like, we ain't got to get into that though. We're going to go into the shift to when I started selling candy inside of school.
Okay.
So it actually started because it was one day me and my father had went to the store and they had some M&Ms that was on sale, the family size. I love M&Ms. Like chocolate is my thing. So we go in there and I grab like 6 packs of M&Ms. It's like it cost $3. It was my last $3, but I'm like, hey, we finna go to school tomorrow and like we finna tear this up. Second hour, Senior Greco's class.
Okay.
Senior Greco was telling us about Spanish. I wasn't all that interested. So I'm sneaking candy out of the cargo pocket and I'm eating some.
Yeah.
The guy next to me said, hey, James, let me get some. Now me, I'm like, new.
You really said no? Bro.
So he said, bro, I'll buy them from you. I'm like, how much you got? He said $1. In my head, I'm like, I paid 50 cents for this. And then it trickled down. I went back the next day, got some more because everybody, as soon as he said it, everybody asked him where he got it from. He said, James.
Instead, y'all paying attention to the teacher, y'all was selling candy.
I was selling candy. I was selling candy. And so I took the same skills that I learned from the streets and put it into the candy thing. So I'm like, well, I can't be in every classroom every time. So I employ people because people was like, hey, well, I want to sell the candy too. So I'm like,
what? Okay,
cool. So it got so crazy. Like I bought my first car off selling candy before. Like it took only maybe less than a year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a wild story. I had people selling candy for me at different schools. I'm riding a bike I'm waking up at like 3, 4 in the morning, riding a bike, dropping off duffel bags to my homeboys that went to different schools. Cause I'm like, all right, cool. I understand the game, but now we're just doing it with candy.
Wow,
and
leverage.
Like, yes, 100%.
That's amazing. So you were able to build a whole business by just leveraging other kids. Yeah. Like what came to mind when we were like, okay, I want to do this? I mean, was it like, because you mentioned you were in the streets. Was it like you saw how the model work in the streets? You're like, oh, I can apply the same thing here? Or what made you say, you know what? I need to hire this person. I need to hire this person. How did you go about even picking who you wanted to hire at the age?
Well, to be honest with you, I was around the street life my whole life. Yeah, my like everybody in my household.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about all the way up to grandma. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was crazy. Like,
so you were being groomed as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, it's crazy because like nowadays, people would never guess the background I actually come from because of how I look now and different things like that. But no, my upbringing was crazy, bro. And like I said, everybody, mom, dad, grandma, all them, I'm watching like pounds of stuff come into the house. Like it's crazy. And the thing that actually made me shift to candy was because I was selling stuff inside of the school and I'm actually at cavity search in the 8th grade. And I was like, yeah, nah, I'm good on that. Like I'm straight. So I switched over to candy. And even when I was younger and they was talking about what's your dream job, I never had one. It never was a thing. Yeah, never was a thing.
I'm curious, right? How did it go from candy to credit repair to AI?
Okay. So now we get into the juicy stuff. So what actually happened with me shifting to credit repair? Before it was credit repair, I was actually doing drop shipping. Then COVID happened. Okay. And all my suppliers got shut down.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, I'm screwed up. So after a certain amount of time, I had a girlfriend at the time. Yeah. Me and that girlfriend broke up. I saved that story for another time.
Yeah, we're having a whole nother podcast for that one.
But I'll tell you this, me and the girl broke up. After we broke up, I lost the house, right? Oh, wow. She slandered all my business efforts by going online and slandering my name.
Dang.
After that happened, I was taking all my stuff to a storage unit, right? Because I was like, it is what it is. I still planned on getting back with the girl at that time. It didn't happen. But I got into a car accident. Car accident gave me sciatic nerve damage. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair for a while. Wow. I ended up homeless because I lost the girl, I lost the car, I lost the house, and I lost my job because I had the sciatic nerve damage.
Oh my God.
And the only thing that brought me back was having good credit. That was the only thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I took the good credit I had at 804, right?
Yeah.
And I already knew how to build up my profile properly.
How did you learn that?
Recession proof. Recession proof.
Yes,
100%.
Community. I love recession proof.
So what actually happened was after everything broke down for me, I was able to go get credit cards with 0% interest, right?
Yeah.
I was able to go get a car loan with no proof of income, no money down, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I was in a bad situation. I'm like, if it wasn't for the credit, I would have went back to the streets, right?
Wow.
And how I actually got back on my feet from there was the credit cards that I had. I had a supplier who sold colognes and stuff like that. And I took back what I knew. Back to, dang, that's crazy how everything come back full circle. Everything that I did beforehand, right? Yeah. The candy and everything like that. I took that same concept and I grabbed a bunch of stuff and I went inside of a tropical smoothie every single day on Wayne Road it's close to Detroit, Michigan. It's outside of Detroit. It's technically in Wayne, Michigan. And I sat in that tropical smoothie and I sold colognes every day. I'm making like $1,000 a day selling colognes.
Selling colognes.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, I got to get to it. Like I
love the hustle. So basically what I'm hearing is, with all that craziness that happened, you leverage your credit to get a new car so you can get back on your feet. You leverage your credit to connect with your old supplier and get the colognes and say, yo, I'm about to build this thing back up. Yeah. And start selling colognes in the back of your car.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love it. What happened next?
What happened next? So this is when I started to discover certain other things when it comes to like applying for housing. Yeah. Right. Because they're like, well, you need to, I normally still kept a job even when I was running a credit repair business or whatever it was. Right.
Yeah.
And the thing that happened this time was people was like, well, where's the check stuff? Where's the check stuff? I'm like, damn, I don't have it. They're like, where's your bank statements? I'm like, I'm collecting cash. Like, I ain't got that stuff, right? And I even offered some of the places to pay for the full year. I'm like, I have the money. Like, I'll give it to you. And they're like, nah. I'm like, okay, cool. I found one place that took a chance on me with the bank statements. Okay. And they see how much money. Oh, yeah, come on, you good.
How are you making money?
I had to strategically think, how can I place money in the account to show it? Because normally I was just cash heavy. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I knew from later on I ended up getting my real estate license. So I knew that like, okay, sometimes the cash has to season. So they're going to ask for 3 months. So I'm like, let me just start putting it in there consistently.
3 months ahead.
Yeah.
To show that history.
And let it sit.
Gotcha.
So get into that. I finally get into another place and, this place, it actually was the place that I lived in back when I first was inside of college. Oh, wow. And the thing that was crazy about all of this stuff was that this was when everything shifted. It was something that I heard from Dr. Eric Thomas. He said, you got to be
18.
willing at any moment. You have to be
Yes.
willing at any moment to sacrifice everything you are for everything you could be.
Wow.
And I had just got back to the point where I was living decent. I was comfortable and things like that. And I came down to Atlanta and at this event called The Forum with him 500 of them, right?
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
one. 2022, I think, around there.
No, it's like
Was
it's
it
like
21?
it's like 24, I think.
Okay, so
'Cause
you went to the most recent one.
Yeah, so this is when everything shifted because I was talking to some people there and I was asking like, what's the difference between like being in Atlanta doing what you do versus being where you're from. You know what I'm saying? So I ran into a couple of people, some people from Chicago, other people that was from like Detroit that came down here, other people that was from all around. They all came to Atlanta. I'm like, what is happening down here?
Why all these people moving down there? I mean, shit, I'm from Jersey down here. So.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? I'm like, outside of, you know what I'm saying, the weather, because it get cold in Detroit. People was telling me like, you around these different rooms all the time. And I said, so I've been thinking about moving. They said, it's mandatory. I said, mandatory? He said, mandatory. 11 days later, I packed all of my stuff and came down here to Atlanta.
Let's go.
Drove
Success
the whole 12
speed,
hours.
Bro.
Yeah, like instantly. Like I packed all my stuff, came straight down here. When I came down here, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to get it out the mud because I don't have no connections down here. I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
And I actually was homeless.
Again.
Yes. Yeah, I was homeless.
Wow.
Again. And I tried to put myself inside of a storage unit that wasn't ready for me at the time. And I was trying to get 24-hour access because some things that I learned from the last time being homeless, you can get the 24-hour access if you have a business account. Because they know that people be trying to stay inside of them. I was already ahead of the game, so I had the EIN and everything like that ready. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me say I'm going to get a business account so I can get the 24-hour access so I can actually sleep inside of the storage unit and put my stuff inside of there 24 hours and never have to lose access to my things.
Yeah.
Right? In the mornings, what I'm doing is I'm inside of the Planet Fitness. So I'm showering at. I'm eating a continental breakfast at the hotels, even though I didn't stay there because they don't never check. So people don't know the story of what I actually went through before I got into this space.